Wow, what a store.
Yeah, we're quite unique on the planet.
How old is this store?
So the interior is original from 1881.
Okay.
And it's one of the last stores in Vienna or in the world which kept its complete design from 1881 till now. When they built this shop, when they built everything, it was designed as a store for fabric. They hired a very famous Ringstraßen painter, Franz Leffler, and he painted this little allegory for trade in general, but in particular for textile trade.
So would you say the majority is still English fabric, or do you have a blend of both?
Well, English and Italian, but that's it.
I mean, this is such a nice building. Let's take a little tour here.
Okay.
You actually have all these beautiful, perfectly like long shelves for fabric.
Yeah. And that's another thing, because we never changed business. The interior is still working. You know, they designed it for fabric and we still do fabric, so there was no need to change something.
What's the wood? What is it? What type of wood is it, and what's the finish?
Well, it's all oak.
Oak?
But it's above the shelves. It's fake oak. So above the shelf, it's just plaster, and it's painted dark, and everything is painted, but it's all stone basically. And the wood just goes up. It's just built to 2/3 of the height, but it's all massive oak.
Now, you have all sorts of fabrics, but you also sell accessories, right?
Yes. That's a thing we started in the 1990s. Come with me, for instance. So my mother started with silk accessories because she said there is no store in Vienna with high quality ties, bow ties or cravats. So she was looking for nice manufacturers for these kind of things. And so that's still, we do all these three things, because normally you get cravats or ties you might get easily. But where do you get a nice bow tie, and for making it yourself, not the ready-made ones, and where will you get a good selection of cravats?
So these are all self-tie bow ties, and they're all like size adjustable.
Yeah, of course you have to, because otherwise...
I mean, your stocking costs would go through the roof if you had them sized only.
Well, that wouldn't work, because you never know which size is needed. And so you have, for the black ones, for the tuxedo, we have in all sizes, because that one you need without a color. But those, no one will make it.
Nice.
The same with the cravats. Come with me. This is something, a real special article in the meantime.
So it's very it's a nice like foulard type material.
That's a foulard if you don't like to wear a tie, and actually you want to do a little bit color to yourself, and you add something, and to make it a little bit more interesting.
You add the ascot, yeah.
Yeah,
very nice.
The ascot. Or
I mean, this is the more like the casual ascot. It's not the one you wear to the Royal Ascot horse race.
You could, because then you need the needle, and you have to know how to fold it.
And it's a little stiffer and cut a little differently, but no, it's a beautiful selection. You have these like English and Italian silks mostly, would you say?
Well, most of these things are Italian silks from Como.
Nice finishing.
And we do all the silks ourselves.
So you design them yourself?
We design, and we decide on what silk we're going to print, and how the finish must be, and all the things. So we do all different things. You've seen it immediately. This is something very peculiar, because this is a very special finish.
They add a little bit of gum back in, so you get that more like chalky hand on the twill.
That's the thing, and this is the normal one, as you say.
The foulard.
The foulard, but you can do the same silk, but with a different style and different finish, a drier hand. You can do it like this.
Very smooth, very nice. So yeah, if you are into Ascots, you have a big selection here. How many patterns would you say?
I don't know, hundreds.
Hundreds,
like the same, hundreds of. We've got, I think, we've counted now with 6,000 different ties in store.
Not just cravats, but these ties and bow ties.
Bow ties and all these things, yeah.
My goodness, that's quite a bit. So yeah, if you're in need of something special, chances are you can find it here.
Well, if you look for nice silk stuff, the same as with squares, or if you look onto silk scarves. Wait, this one.
Oh yeah, this is a very more a stiffer finish and heavy.
Very heavy.
Heavy silk.
You wouldn't get it somewhere elsewhere on the planet.
Really heavy.
But we also do
So is this for like a spring or fall wear?
I think it's just the old nice way to do silk. So you can, obviously you won't wear it in summer when it's very hot, but you can wear it in spring, you can wear it in autumn, you can even wear it in winter.
But that type of silk, 390 euros, it's a bit more expensive.
Of course.
It's rare.
Touch it.
Like you focus on high quality.
Yeah.
It's not cheap.
No.
but it is quality, it is unique, and is special.
That's the only thing you have. I think if you're an independent company, you only focus on the best. If you just do the average things.
You can't compete on price with the big
No,
guys. So you have to compete on quality and uniqueness. This is more like foulard, and very
That's
nice.
a foulard, but
very nice hand.
But as you see, we do it in the same silk, but two different patterns. But the colors fit.
Yes, the colorways are coordinated. So yeah, because you designed them together.
Yeah.
It's not like an afterthought. And then up here you've got some like...
there's a selection of pashminas. And all kind of silk scarves. Normally we change for winter and summer.
Women probably also come here.
Yep, for silk things. All the squares.
Yeah, nice. And then you have like regular neckties here.
Yep.
All sorts of... Do you do different lengths, different widths?
No, we say if you need a tie, especially very long or very wide, it will be made especially for you.
Okay.
But if you want a nice tie, there's not a lot of possibility to change the width or the length.
Got it.
You have to do it the proper way, and it just depends on the kind of knot you make. How it would look like.
What do you go? Is this 8 centimeters width?
Yeah, it always changes between 7.5 and 8.5. That's sometimes it depends on the pattern.
Well, you know, we visited the Viennese tailors, and they're almost not too much, not too little. They're kind of in between. So you follow the same philosophy.
Basically, the mentality of the city.
Yeah. Very good. So then you have lots of fabric bolts here.
Yeah.
Is there a system around that?
Well, of course, we try to make life easy for our clients.
Because I see the numbers on here.
Yeah, so every fabric's got its article number and it's got its price and the length. We cut a certain coupon from the whole piece to show, because it's impossible for everyone, because fabric is very heavy, to deal with the big thing.
Yeah.
So this, for instance, is now the table for lighter suitings for the summer or for spring-summer. And in winter, we change for heavier ones. And the other table, there's just cashmere. And then you've got summer jackets, all kind of selections, silk and wool, silk, linen. And on the back side there, you've got all kind of fabrics for suitings.
Let's have a look at it later. I want to see it. So you have all these summer fabrics.
Mm-hmm.
And Vienna can get hot in the summer and humid.
And very humid.
So what is the most popular fabric for this kind of hot weather?
Well, what you ever could do is something highly twisted, because that will keep its shape. So air will go through.
Like a fresco.
Like a fresco. And that's possibly, if you've summer in Vienna, it's the best thing you could wear. Linen, cotton. Viennese still wear a lot of cotton suits in summer.
Like what kind of cotton?
Well, we call it a khaki.
Okay.
So this is a Viennese tradition. You wouldn't see it on other places, like even very yellow khaki suits.
Interesting. But they're typically more like twill, kind of tighter weave.
Yes.
So it's not necessarily breathable.
No, but it's cotton, and it's that's why it's something summer style.
Interesting. So it's more the look than the actual functionality.
Yeah.
Funny.
And it shouldn't be too thin. When I was a kid, there was even a fabric from England. It was very, very popular. It was called cotton drill. It was even the heaviest one, like the English military used in the army, because that was always stiff, and that keeps you cool as well.
Interesting.
It's never sticky.
Wow, I see this huge wall of fabric over there. That's quite impressive. I mean, you're a fabric store, but it's just beautiful and plentiful. Maybe we could make
It's a lot of work that it looks like this.
Maybe we could make another video about just that.
Yeah, we will do so.
Awesome. But, oh wow, you have a nice selection of umbrellas here.
Yeah, so Francesco Maglia Jr., as to say, and Senior, we're friends for many years now with all the families. So all our umbrellas are made by Francesco Maglia in Milano, but the design we do here, and we work together with him, and he's really one of very, very, how to say that, he inherited this craftsmanship and he lives it.
Absolutely. And I've been to the factory. They're very nice people. They make really nice umbrellas. In fact, they're so nice that they're often the target of theft.
Well, not even theft. You leave your nice umbrella in the restaurant and you get another one.
The cheap one.
The cheap one.
The Chinese one, yes. Yeah. So you have wooden handles. You have...
we do the leather handle.
The leather handles.
And we do the leather handle in different colors. And of course, we do the wood in different color. But it depends what you can get. So it's...
Are they all solid stick umbrellas?
Yes, some of those we do with the metal ones. They're unbreakable. The ones you're going to fly away if you hold it.
Awesome. So no, beautiful selection.
I hope so.
Is it very rainy in Vienna?
Yeah, it could be. It could be, and sometimes it's rainy and stormy.
So, you know, in Vienna, when you walk around, a
Yes.
lot of people talk about K&K Hoflieferant. So when I walked into your place, I saw the K&K Kammerhoflieferant. At what stage or what time did you get that kind of stamp of approval?
Well, this is probably you have to explain what it is.
It's like the royal warrant. Right?
Like the royal warrant, but Austria isn't a monarchy any longer. We're a republic since 1918, but it's still, for the very old Viennese companies, they're still very proud that they used to serve for the imperial court. So I can show you something. Come with me.
Yeah.
So here, this is the original degree. That's what they got from the court, that they had the right to have this title.
Von seiner kaiserlichen und königlich apostolischen Majestät Obersthofmeister Amt.
Yeah, that's not translatable actually, but it means it's the major authority of the royal and imperial and royal court.
Is bestowing on you.
Yeah, so they write that you got this title, and that's something very special because there are not a lot of these original forms left or letters left.
So what other accessories do you carry?
Well, you've seen the ties, you've seen the bow ties, you've seen the cravat, the scarves, but there's one major article we're really, really very good in, and those are all kind of handkerchief pocket squares. So I'll show you. When we print the silk, it's not a big difference to do the overall goods, but you also add something and you make special pochettes in all kinds of colors.
What size do you typically use?
Well, usually we do 33, but we also do 45, and sometimes we even do 70 times 70.
Depends on the thickness of the silk.
Thickness of the silk and what you want to do, because the bigger ones also used by ladies for the bags.
I see.
It's a little nice accessory. I mean, like this, for instance, is something, but that's our summer collection, our little boats. And we do these in all kinds of colors.
And all designs are made in-house.
Well, yes, we sit together, we go to the silk printers and we see what they have, and then we change the colors, we adjust, because as we print everything ourselves, we don't have to care what they have in collection, so we can change.
And then here, these are more like wool silk, or it's a different...
These are the ones we do double-sided. So you've got two different, you get one pochette, but with two different sizes. So this is plain. This is also one of the summer collection.
Two-in-one kind.
Two-in-one kind of things. But for instance, you see, this is the front and this is the back.
Okay.
And as you see, the silk is heavier because from a technical point of view, if you can't double print on silk, too thin silk, because it will die through.
Yeah, exactly. How much fabric do you have in your story?
Altogether,
yes.
It's everything what you see here is 15 kilometers.
That's that's almost like 10 miles.
Yeah, almost like 10 miles. If you unroll everything, but don't do it because you will never
be able to
roll it back.
Yeah.
Now you've seen our selection of suitings actually.
Yeah, suitings.
So, but some people don't want to wear a suit. Like us, we wear jackets. So come with me. I'll show you two different things. If you like something very, very nice and soft and super luxurious, you take cashmere.
You go with a cashmere.
Nothing you would possibly wear in summer, but it's nice autumn and winter, of course, and in springtime, because you can wear it without a coat, and you always look nice.
It was funny. We went to like Yorkshire.
Yes.
Went to all the mills. And then we also visited the finishers.
Yes.
And I was able to touch unfinished cashmere.
It's rude, really.
It's
harsh.
It's rough
Yeah.
and harsh, and you're like, wow. It's almost indistinguishable from the wool. But once they finish it the right way, it has this beautiful hand. So yeah, during the trip, I realized that, typically we always put in the label of the weaver, but really what's maybe even more important is the label of the finisher.
Yeah.
People don't care so much about it because it's just, and there's some weavers who also finish. Right? In Italy, that's more common. I think in England, it's much more common that you have the separate finisher. So do you sometimes, decide on what finish you want, or do you have like these kind of fabrics woven for you, or you select? Do you go with vintage fabrics? What's your approach to stocking
that changes. So sometimes it's if we get fabric, for instance, from Loro Piana, that the fabric is as it is. There's no big variation. But if we do fabric in Scotland, then we say how we want it. So we can do it. We can make. I show you possibly. So this is a cashmere done for us.
pure cashmere, Vienna, Jungmann and Neffe. Yeah, nice.
And this has got a very smooth and very clear cashmere finish. So this is a jacket you can wear nicely every day. If you want to wear a green jacket with whatever kind of trousers you would like.
So it's quite durable too?
Yeah.
Because cashmere is not known as the most durable material.
Yeah, but if you care for it and if the quality is right, it's not a problem. It's nothing you should go hunting with, of course, because that it's soft.
It's soft, exactly.
But you can do the same style of fabric, but you can use a complete different finishing, and you get a complete different grip. This would be a very good source. This is an Italian one.
So do you go to Scotland to make the selection?
No, I don't have to, because most of our weavers, they come to us, they travel, and we choose the fabric. Or I go there, some this or that.
That's very lightweight. Yeah.
This is lightweight, but this has a complete different finish.
Totally, and it says 38 meters.
No, that was the mark for that they know how much it is.
Oh, I see. Das ist immer der Meterpreis.
Das ist immer der Meterpreis, ja.
Oh yeah. So now it's funny. I'm looking here, and it says 92% cashmere, 8% silk. Esterhazy Blau.
Yes.
Esterhazy is the kind of Prince of Wales check pattern in Austria. Is that right?
But only in Austria. Do you know why?
No.
So when this pattern was invented, it was invented in England. And there was one Prince Esterhazy, an Hungarian nobleman, who went to England and brought it to Vienna. And because he was wearing it the first time, they say this is an Esterhazy. And that's why only in Vienna it's called this way.
At that stage, right, people popularized things, and then it became that thing.
And he was super fashionable, and that's why, for instance, for fashion, that's why above our cash desk is Pauline Metternich. Because she was, in their days, she was the it girl of Vienna. So when she went out in spring, for instance, she was not very tall, she was not very slim, but she was very keen about fashion. So when she went out in spring, first time, warm weather, and she had, let's say, apple green, that was the color.
That was the color of the season.
And that was so important to have her above the cash that everyone knows where she gets the fabric from.
And so here we see Lieferanten ihrer kaiserlichen und königlichen Hoheit, der Frau Herzogin von Württemberg.
Yeah. That's another noble. I think she was more important than her, but you need someone symmetrically, so.
I see. One thing I really appreciate is that you have the full length cloths here rather than the small swatch. Do customers like that as well?
Well, it makes a huge difference, because imagine you like to buy a fabric for a suit or a jacket, and you just see this little snippet. You won't get an idea, especially if it's got a big overcheck or strong color, how it will suit you. So the big difference is I can open it up, I can show you, and I can even drape it on you, and you can see the basic idea. It makes life
a lot easier.
A lot easier.
Because also sometimes in a smaller swatch, it may seem lighter or darker than it actually will later on.
Of course.
Very good. So now I saw you also carry cologne.
Yes, but only Lorenzo Villoresi.
Yes.
Because he was, I don't know, how long do we have it now? 30 years?
30 years.
And he's a good friend of us, and he's doing his perfume is very particular and not so, let's say, it's a more natural product. And then we added Ugolini for a few years now, because it's also the same idea of a very particular, very individual fragrance, nothing too industrial.
How do the Viennese like it?
Well, the Viennese are, even with fragrances, very special, because they are old-fashioned. So you remember there's these, they still like Eau Sauvage, for instance, the old style, and there are still people who
Dior,
like
right?
lavender.
Eau Sauvage? Dior, Eau Sauvage?
Oh, Dior Sauvage, the classical one.
Yeah.
Or they like lavender, which is lavender. So, yeah, Viennese are special.
Beautiful. So what do we got over here?
Well, we've seen the cashmere jackets, but obviously there's nothing for summer.
Yeah.
So over there you'll find a big selection of all kinds of fabrics for making summer jackets.
Let's have a look.
It's like linen, or you can do lots of things which many people now don't want to wear linen, for instance, because it wrinkles so much.
It does.
So you combine it with wool.
You blend it, wool, silk.
Wool, silk and linen, or you just do, what we do in Austria a lot is these kind of green jackets, but that's pure linen.
Yeah. I mean, nice hand, nice finish. This is particularly beautiful. Do you distinguish between, jacketing only and suiting?
Yes.
Because sometimes certain fabrics are just not suited for pants because of the friction.
Well, this is most important. If there are two reasons. First of all, the technical reason. So if the fabric is not designed, if it has a soft fiber and it's in a very open weave, you wouldn't be happy wearing it as a trouser. So that's one thing. And the other thing is, of course, some patterns. Huge squares. Even if the fabric would be suitable for a suit, you wouldn't do it because it's too much. Or some people would suggest it's nice, but it's the minority.
Yeah. Beautiful.
This is an example. You wouldn't make trousers out of it, for instance. You know why? You can look at it. You can see it even. We call it, it moves. You see?
Yeah.
And it will turn, it will be ruined between the legs within a very short time.
Well, you know what? I can't wait to see the archive now.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
We have to go to the cellar.
Okay. My goodness, that's quite a bit of stuff here.
Well, we've got all the records. These are the books of the late 1890s. Or this is the archive when we only had ladies' fabric. So this one, for instance, you see there is an index.
This was ladies' fabric, so nice velvet. Hermine Ehrenfest.
Ehrenfest, yeah. She was related to the owners, and that was a samt, velvet montil, so a short.
But very, very short, well, very nice.
Yeah, the fabric was very nice in those days, and it was made to last forever.
It was also a lot more expensive.
Very expensive.
It's almost like a grenadine kind of.
But on a mohair, this is a
mohair.
Yeah.
Elisabeth Schönmann, it's cool that you have these kind of designs that can be inspiration even for new menswear fabrics.
Well, then I can show you even more.
Yeah.
Because these are, for instance, this is the collection from 1914, 12, 13.
Nice. The big pages. It's almost like if you go to a weaver, and look at the archive books, you have that too. That's amazing.
And they all kind of silks.
These kind of interesting herringbone, satin, bold stripes.
Yeah, very bold.
Really
well,
bold.
for dresses, it's fine.
Yeah. Or for linings, maybe kind of Bengal stripe inspired.
But if you want to see, silks for suit for ties, this is from 1907. There you'll find all kind of prints you wouldn't even think of being from 1907.
Really large scale stuff.
Well, look at this.
This is cool. A paisley, kind of in a summery.
Yes, but
lavender purple.
with the
kind of border.
lines in between.
Now, I see here's a book. Wer war einmal?
Wer einmal war, ja.
August. Das jüdische Großbürgertum Wiens.
Yeah, that's what I did beside of business the last 25 years. So I wrote a book because we had all these books about the clientele, and there was nothing about these haute bourgeoisie of Vienna before World War II. So I decided to, if there's no book, you have to make it yourself. And about how many families have you written then? About 685.
So you are probably, undoubtedly, the preeminent expert on like Jewish families and businesses in Vienna.
Yeah, probably.
Wow. How long did it take you to write this?
Well, I started late 1990s and I finished in 2023.
So
sometime.
So 30 years.
Yeah, and the name index we just finished is around 120,000 names. And this is a nice picture. This is how the shop looked like in 1924.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that's like Wilhelmina and Neffe, it's all the same, basically.
Yeah, it's all basically all the same. The only thing that was gone are these letters here because they were damaged in World War II. But the fences are original and yeah, basically it looks the same.
Is there anything else like
well,
archive-wise that's interesting?
If you're interested in history,
Textillexikon, that's also cool.
These are all the suppliers in the in Dummer. They're still business.
Hermann Gerstl, Soll haben. These are all like accounting books.
Yeah. So these are what we bought from Dummer for 1930, 22, for instance, 26, 27. Well, there are a lot of other companies which don't exist anymore.
Hunter and Co.
Pattern and Co.
Cook London.
Wayne Shield.
Unlimited.
I still were working with them when I was a kid, but they don't exist any longer.
2 Savile Row.
So this was in 1923, 1924.
And what was the currency? Shilling?
Those no pounds.
Pounds. 30 pounds.
Yeah, 30 pounds, 16 shilling. One, old system.
Yeah, old system.
But that was converted in 1923. We still had the crowns, with the high inflation. So in 1925, it goes back to shillings. and then it changes rapidly. But it's still the old £33 or £30 for quite a lot of money. Fish and Company.
Huddersfield.
Yeah.
Eric and Massey.
John G. Hardy.
John G. Hardy.
They're still there.
They're still around.
Yeah. Wayne Shield.
Cool. David Evans and Sons,
Yeah.
London.
They were silk, I think.
Yes,
silk people.
yes, they did like the Madder silk.
Yeah.
They went out of business, but David Evans, I don't know. Berber Limited.
John Gladstone.
Wayne Shields on Gladstone. Beste Woolen Company.
No, Bestex.
Bestex.
That was one of these stuck together words.
Yeah, totally.
Koffer, what do we say?
Wilson Brothers. So yeah, it was that English fabric focus.
Yeah.
That is very obvious. Very cool. Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing these things with us. You truly have a treasure trove, including this is interesting. Have you ever looked at this? The textile
Well, of course,
lexicon?
I bought all these kind of textile, but I can show you something even
better.
even better, more recent.
Okay.
This is because I always keep this thing. This is from 1987. This is the Zegna book about fashion in 1980s. It's not so long ago, and I'm with the fabric of the original, and I kept all of those.
You know, they don't look as extreme in the shoulders as sometimes you might think. High performance.
And that's what they invented. That was completely new in those days, high performance, because until the 1980s, it was very difficult to make very lightweight woolen fabrics. They were good for trousers.
Yeah.
And they made this.
They made this.
High performance was one of the first ones, really lightweight fabric.
They no longer have it, do they?
Oh, they have, yes.
They do?
Yes,
You can still do
it's now they call it a different way, but it's basically the same idea of fabric.
Okay.
And the patterns are not absurd.
No, it's nice color depth.
But you know why? Why show you 1987? Everything comes back.
And I mean, also they could use different finishing methods there.
Yeah.
Like chemically, right? Stuff is not always legal anymore.
No.
Of what they used back then. So these are just like a dictionary.
Yeah, that's a dictionary of fabric.
Of like how you make it, the machinery.
But that's an old one. I've got several of those. So there, I've got. This is for instance another one, done in the I don't know which year is it.
Nordhausen.
It doesn't give a year, but I would say it's 1930s.
Yeah.
And it says everything about the
Has the German-
1920.
The German Fraktur.
Yeah.
So it ends in 26, so it's probably from around a time. It has 27 here.
Yeah.
Oh, there's even like hat manufacturing.
Yeah, it says everything about these old techniques, how things were made.
You know, I hope that with AI, you can just take this book, scan it, get all this knowledge, and then search it and maybe, translate it into English so other people can use it. That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for letting us peek into your archive. And also, congratulations on this beautiful store.
Thanks a lot.
If you're in Vienna, you must visit Wilhelm Jungmann und Neffe.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Gaugusch.
Thanks.